All right, let's dive into a classic. A book that has been a secret weapon for leaders and creators for decades. The Magic of Thinking Big by David Schwartz. We're going to zero in on one single powerful question today. Is your need to be realistic actually the very thing that's holding you back?
So let's just start with that. Think about the last time you had a big idea. A career pivot, a wild project, whatever. Did you shut it down because you were just being realistic? Or was that, maybe, just a really convenient cover for thinking small?
I mean, come on, it sounds so right, doesn't it? Being realistic is what grown-ups do. It's a sign of maturity, of being sensible. It feels safe, like it's protecting us from getting hurt or looking stupid.
But what if it's not? What if that virtue is actually just a very sophisticated, highbrow excuse? A really smart-sounding way to dodge the risk, to avoid the hard work, and to sidestep the fear that always comes with doing something big.
Well, David Schwartz actually gave this whole tendency a name way back in 1959. And he didn't see it as some fixed personality trait. Oh no, he saw it as a disease, a condition that he called the failure disease.
And the number one symptom of this disease, something he called excusitis. You know what I'm talking about. It's that little voice in your head that has a perfectly logical, totally reasonable explanation for why you haven't done the thing. It's the habit of explaining away your own future.
Let's look at a few common types. First up, you've got intelligence excusitis. It's that thought that creeps in when you see someone else succeeding. Wow, they're on another level. I just don't have the brains for that.
Then there's age excusitis. Ooh, this one is sneaky because it sounds so wise. I'm too old to start a business now. I've missed my window. Or the other side of the coin. I'm too young. Nobody's going to take me seriously. It's the perfect excuse, right? Because you can't argue with the calendar.
Health excusitis, another classic. I would launch that thing, but my energy, I'm just so tired. It feels so responsible to say that. But really, it just keeps you right where you are, forever waiting to feel ready.
And maybe the worst of them all, luck excusitis. This one is so dangerous because it just completely lets you off the hook. Oh, they just got a lucky break. Or, my situation is different. Things just don't work out for me. Suddenly, you're not the driver of your own life anymore. You're just a passenger.
Okay, so if those excuses are the disease, what in the world is the cure? Well, this is where Schwartz flips the whole script. He says the problem isn't you. It isn't your IQ, it's not your age, it's not your luck, it's the size of your thoughts.
This quote, this is pretty much the whole book in a nutshell. He's saying that the world is not divided between the geniuses and the rest of us. No, it's divided by the size of people's goals. Your potential isn't capped by your brain power, it's capped by the ceiling you put on your own thinking.
And he makes this really crucial distinction. Your intellect, that's just raw data. It's what you know. But the size of your thinking, that's about how you use what you know. It's your attitude, your creativity, your resourcefulness. It's the application that matters.
So here's the takeaway. Your results will almost perfectly mirror the size of your goals. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. You feed your mind small, realistic goals, and that's exactly what it will deliver. You feed it big, ambitious goals, and it goes to work on a much bigger problem.
So this all sounds great, right? Just think bigger. But how? How do you actually do that? Well, Schwartz doesn't just leave us with the theory. He gives us a super practical toolkit, a mental upgrade kit, if you will.
And he boils it down to 3 key areas to work on. It starts with the actual words you use, then it's about how you carry yourself, and finally, it's about who and what you surround yourself with.
Look, this might seem like a small thing, but these word swaps are huge. A problem feels like a brick wall, but a challenge? That sounds like a game you can win. Saying, I'll try, literally gives you permission to fail. But I will, that's a commitment. You're basically programming your own mind for a different outcome.
Now, one of his most powerful ideas is this. You need to create what he calls a sell yourself on yourself commercial. It's basically a 60-second mental pep talk that you play for yourself over and over, highlighting your strengths and your goals.
And here's why that's so important. Let's be real. Most of us are already black belts in self-criticism. We don't need any more practice tearing ourselves down. What we desperately need to practice is building ourselves up, on purpose. Your identity is just the story you repeat to yourself, so make it a good one.
But Schwartz is clear. Thinking differently is amazing, but it's not enough. There's one final, non-negotiable ingredient that makes the entire system work. The ultimate cure for excusitis, for fear, for thinking small, is action.
I mean, just let that sink in. Action cures fear. It's like an antibiotic for doubt. Indecision, waiting, hesitating. That's like fertilizer for fear.
The longer you wait, the bigger and scarier the thing gets in your head. But the second you take one tiny step, it starts to shrink.
And that brings us to the final, critical point here. You can have the biggest, most positive, most ambitious thoughts in the universe, but if they never ever lead to you actually doing something different, then it's not belief. It's just a pleasant daydream. It's delusion.
So I'll leave you with this question. Forget the huge 5-year plan for a second. What is one tiny action, sending that one email, making that one call, writing that one sentence that you've been putting off? What can you do right now, in the next 10 minutes, to prove to yourself that you're done just being realistic?